What up, my freaks? RuinusInsight here with part, I want to say 33 or somewhere along those lines of my Total War Warhammer 3 modded Thorgrim Grudgebearer Old World campaign. So as we saw last time, we have advanced at last through the territories of Wurzag towards the Order of Lore Masters and are getting ready to attack them. And funnily enough, and I didn't know this, but just as I was about to start the episode, Thorgrim exclaimed something like, "Is that Elgi construction I see?" or something along those lines, and I was like, huh. So apparently he has, or I guess all lords must have some kind of lines that they say on the overworld map when they encounter certain things. I didn't even know that was a thing. I think this is the first time I've ever heard a lord randomly talk about their environment on the overworld map, so pretty neat, I gotta say. Anyway, well, we're gonna start off with going after Teclis. His defeat trait is absolutely useless to us, admittedly, but, well, we're gonna have to take him out. Now, we'll ask, I don't know, clan tree trick, it doesn't really matter, wait, yeah, fine, whatever. We're going to use the Skaven for this purpose, plus money, to join the war against Teclis. The thing is, if we directly declare war upon him, there's a decent chance that Balthazar Gelt joins in as well, and, well, at least the Skaven will have proved some usefulness before we wipe them all out from the entire world. So, join war against Teclis. I think we all know there will be no alliance with elves. And what do we have here? It is a field battle. All right, I'm excited to see how the Lothern Skycutters fare against our own Air Force. The plus 50, unless I'm mistaken. Winds of magic that we'll get for defeating Teclis. So nice for any faction but Dwarfs. And possibly Khorne, I guess. But useless to us. Damn, he's got 207, eh? We can't be letting him get those machine gun spells off too much. So we're going to have to try our best to bring him down. Let's hope that the Lothern Skycutters can't bring down Thorgrim's Thundercloud. Should be a fun fight. Let's quick save in case of a crash, and then let's jump on in. All right, Thorgrim, we're certainly working on it. Here we go. Looks like, the giant pile of Lothern Skycutters on both sides is heading to the flanks in the same exact way that we're doing with our own Air Force, so I guess they're looking to shadow us. Interesting. We'll see how that works out for them and how it works out for us. We're going to start a bit of a shootout over on the right flank as our anti-single entity snipers and go as our grudge thrower, or grudge settler, or rather, gyrocopters go after the enemy Lothern Skycutters, and we'll see how quickly we can bring them down. Gotta watch out for those ballista bolts and whatnot after all, but we do probably have the damage superiority. At least I would think. That is a lot of Trollhammer Torps coming in. It looks like the first of the enemy Skycutters has fallen. In the meantime, we're gonna have to back off as the enemy Frostheart Phoenix rushes towards us, but we will pop off that harpoon from our Thunder Barge, taking it down by half HP, then slow it down massively with the flash bomb, and then hopefully bring it down afterwards with the grudge settlers. Otherwise, Thorgrim has made it in, well, just rushed towards the enemy line basically, and though he's slowed down a little bit, and lost 100 armor due to Curse of Rust. He's currently getting attacked by Teclis as well as the enemy Noble, but I'm sure that they'll be able to deal with him just fine. Phoenix has been knocked out of the sky over on the right flank by the combination of Thunder Barge and the Grudge Settler Gyrocopters, who waste to fall into those spears, but then quickly return to firing upon those Lothern Skycutters. Lovely. I still got to get a campaign going where we can get the Lothern Skycutters in combination with the Dwarfen Air Force. I just think it will work out very nicely, if not insanely OP. Anyway, we're moving towards the enemy army now. Teclis still in the fight with Thorgrim. Thorgrim having taken a little bit of damage, but I don't think he's super concerned. Teclis is taking damage as well. It's just that Teclis keeps spamming regrowth on himself as well as Life Bloom. So for now, he's got that healing going. He also has as the spells going on our main line, we've taken about 20 to 30% damage on at least a couple of our hammerers. The White Lions have moved on in and are facing off against our Everguard. I do imagine that the hammerers should have them beat by a fair margin, even discounting the armor sundering. Our stats are pretty insane after all. Alrighty, it looks like Teclis has backed off. Thorgrim has attempted to give chase, but he'll go up into the air, which means we can't do too much about that. In the meantime, the right flanking units of Lothern Skycutters have been destroyed, and we're moving to the left flanking units with the piles of troll hammers, while our bombers fly around in the enemy background with a thunder barge leading and drop bombs, grenades, and cannon fire, whatnot, on the enemy range units. There are a pretty big old pile of range units after all. Teclis keeps backing off, so it looks like he doesn't want to duel, meaning we're going to surround him with our single entities and try to prevent him from escaping, but no, he's going to use the massive head Arcane Phoenix to escape Gotrek and Felix as well. Oh well, what can you do? Just gonna keep on fighting everybody else and send a few more units at Teclis if we can. He's just gonna get himself surrounded by hammerers like this, considering Thorgrim got him down to about half HP, and there we go. He has reached his healing cap and is quickly dropping now, very quickly dropping now, and wow, dead. I guess the single entities moved on in together with the hammerers, and it started going pretty poorly. I believe the last of the Lothern Skycutters have at this point been sky cut down, and with Teclis gone, the White Lions are booking it on out of there. An enemy mage about to get sniped by those troll hammers, her chariot and destroyed, and the mage defeated, and it looks like with that, the elves will break and the battle will be ours. They also had cannons on the Imperial cannons with them. I assume these are Gelt's Imperial cannons, which is kind of interesting. They're certainly not using Gelt's colors, but, wait, are these Teclis' colors? I guess they are. Yeah, they are. Okay, I just wanted to double-check the unit. There we go. Close victory, and certainly we took some damage. Our gyro bombers took a little bit of hurt trying to fight or hold off, I should say, the units of Skycutters on the left flank, but eventually our gyrocopter snipers, our troll hammers, obliterated them all. Alrighty, there we go. I really enjoyed that one. Teclis actually gave us something of a proper fight. Those Lothern Skycutters took a fair bit of effort to take down and damaged our engineers, and at least until we sniped them out of the sky with Thagaraki's Cool and our other Trollhammer gyrocopters. Our bombers weren't super effective against the Skycutters, but they were flying around and actually bombing jerks for once, which is something of a rarity in Thorgrim's army, as he doesn't really need them to apply their bombs, typically. Nonetheless, it was nice. I also was impressed with Teclis essentially holding his own against Thorgrim, at the very least, while he had his regen constantly up and running, his regrowth ability, and presumably Life Bloom as well. I suppose eventually he would have reached his healing cap and died to Thorgrim, but that would have taken a while, A, and B, it would have only occurred if he wasn't a cowardly Elgi and attempted to back away and stop fighting Thorgrim, which he did. But then eventually we surrounded him and heavily damaged him with Gotrek, Felix, etc., 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 so that he could run no more. A very nice fight. I really enjoyed that. A bit of a shame that we couldn't get Lothern Skycutters in with our own Air Force armies, because Lothern Skycutters and Thunder Barges together would be an absolutely obnoxious, insane army. But some other campaign, someday, I still fully intend to make it happen. Close victory. Teclis will fall. Will occupy his territory. And yeah, wins the magic power reserve plus 50. Ooh. Anyway, I guess since we... Okay, wait. Are you in range? You are not in range. All right, fine, fair enough. Then we'll put you right here, Mr. Morik Grimtidson, and get ready to attack Carnal Stare and all of these units and the Pillar of Bones. Oh, that's a lot of blood crushers. Huh. I don't know if you can win that. Well, good luck. If you die, you die. Then you will have found a doom, and that's always a nice thing to find. Anyway, you, Belagar, I guess, are gonna hit Flying Fortress. I don't want Thorgrim to waste his time too much more. And with these guys, he's got to head down to Best Eltharion in combat as well. These guys, I think, are likely to sally out. They got 2 Swords Masters, 2 Phoenix Guard, ton of range units, Sun Dragon. We'll build the stuff, but I'm thinking we will be able to fight them in the field with Belagar. Belagar, do you have any significant amount of points? Your Thane or Thanes do. So, let's get you Inherited Arms into Unfaltering into Revered Thane for that Glittering Scales and Patriarch reduction. We will also want to get... I'm going to say Blade Shield into Indomitable. We have 1 point remaining. Guess we could get Resolute just for the 1 point. What about the other Thane? You don't have Inherited Arms, so let's get that into Revered Thane. You were going for Woundmaker rather than Blade Shield. You're one of the one of the few units that had less melee defense than you had melee attack, but now you're good. You can get Resolute as well, and then we'll get 1 more point to finish up with Woundmaker. Good. Master Engineer, you got 7 points on ya. Now you got the Bolt Thrower Mastery, and that's the only mastery that we, in theory, need here. I guess we'll do Triangulation or Requisition. This is Power 42 Pounders. And that's all we can do for now. Alright, Runesmith, you will go for Rune Master, and you should be able to go strike the runes as well. Like so, and still have 1 point remaining. We could go Resolute for you, but you're not really charging anything, so I'm gonna... Oh, you don't have Sharpened Weapons or Hardened Armor. Wait. Out of those, I'm gonna say Sharpened Weapons, because it'll benefit us both in melee and in range. Not that I dislike the idea of Hardened Armor, but these guys' armor is plenty well hard, so Sharpened Weapons then. Alrighty. And then we'll keep going through that once we're ready. And then also, Belagar, we gotta get you your 1 point. Single point though it may be, you are going to now start going through Obstinacy. Maybe I should have gotten your Rune of Grimnir, but it's all good. We'll get you that too. And Joseph of Zorn, you're up next. You've knocked out those rats. Still looking for a proper stack belonging to the Dark Elves, but for now I guess you're just going to jump on here somewhere. We'll take Tidal Flats. Most likely what I'd like to do is maybe give the territory to these ogres and have them betray the whichever Skaven they were friendly with. Again, I think we've reached the edge of the range of what we want to hold. Like, I really don't want to deal with the hills, and we already have an absolutely insane amount of territory, and we don't need to hold all the Darklands. Grimly, first of all, you do have your new engineer. I assume we'll be able to kill off Mr. Stuncritch. So what we'll do is this. You're going to go here. We will... Alright, just attack this. I'll put the engineer in after. We'll auto-resolve this. Quick save it, because it has crashed last episode. It did crash on settlement capture territory. A bit of damage to Grimly's army. Maybe we should have attacked with him after all, but whatever. Drink to victory. Doesn't really matter what you do. Then I would like you to grab one of the... Okay. Enemy killed in battle, yada yada yada. I would like you to grab one of the Quarrelers from Grimly's army. Does it really matter which one? You are great weapons. These guys aren't named. We want one more engineer, meaning we need to get rid of 1 unit. Oh, and it's going to bother me that these guys are like this. Alright, fine. We take one of the ones with great weapons, I guess. Oh! We have a sort of all great weapon thing going here, don't we? Great weapons, great weapons. Alright, fine. Keep all the ones with great weapons then. I guess we could convert these two. Oh, these guys have lower levels. Whatever, just it doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter. You go this way. You're going to transfer these high-ranking units to another army. Grimly, you will then proceed here. Like so. We'll put the engineer in your army. I wonder if these guys will attack you next turn. Ooh, that's a solid stack. It's a concerningly solid stack in the sense that if they attack Grimly while he's damaged... Does it warrant fighting this, I guess is the question. Not this. I would like to fight this. Ooh, especially if they take a unit from us. But anyway, let's level up before we go. We do have a little bit in the way of levels. We do have all the red line that we needed in this army, so let's go Scarvet into flow of battle for you. Engineer, we'll start with a new one. Obviously, break open the casks into triangulation, into flash bomb, into deadeye ballistics calibration, and 1 point short of Zuf bars. Alright, the other engineer can next level up. You can, I guess, get We Are the Elite, or at least start moving through it, and oh, you only had the 1 point. You have 2 points, however. Sharpen weapons, We Are the Elite are maxed out. We are moving towards Strike the Runes next, I guess. Alright, Rune of Negation, Rune of Breaking, and then we'll strike the runes when we can, and then lastly the Thane. You... we have Rune of Grimnir, we have Inherited Arms. I guess we'll just go through to Foe Seeker when we can. Alrighty, let's see what the auto resolve says about this. Medium casualties. I think we have to fight this. I think the game is not going to give us much choice. A little bit concerned about the warp bomb as well. You know what, we'll just fight this manually super quick because it's frankly kind of a waste of time. It's just that we can't really afford to suffer more casualties with this army right now, especially if that giant Slaneshi pile is likely to attack us next turn. If we were to auto-resolve and went down to like 1/3 HP, there'd be a decent likelihood of losing our artillery, and I don't want that. I enjoy the bolt throwers in this army. Though funnily enough, I'd wager they're not going to be able to do too much against this particular army because they're not going to be able to hit anything or damage anything really, but whatever. Alrighty, let's set this up real quick. Alright, what's the range on the bolt throwers maximum? Pretty good. Let's set up here. Like so. We got this little cliffside that'll protect us to some degree. And we'll spread these guys out as much as possible. There is a likelihood of getting hit by that warp bomb after all, so we do have to be careful about it. And you guys go here. One of the engineers, the new engineer, should not be on a gyrocopter, so you can just sit there. Grimly, you can be out front in the front of the army. Runesmith and Thane, you can guard this flank, I guess. And the other engineers should be... Oh, you're also on a gyrocopter. Never mind, then. You can be in the front lines, sort of. Alright, you guys will move up like so-ish. And... do this. Alright, like that. And then you guys will move here. You will stay here to protect the units across the water, and then you guys will position yourselves between so that we know what's happening. Alrighty, let's activate our... Oh, we only have one use of it? Well, then never mind. Great Seer of Plague. Shouldn't be too concerning. Alrighty, and we're good. You are going to move here, turn off skirmish mode for... Huh. Why do the Grudge Settler ones have skirmish mode and the non-Grudge Settler ones don't? It's a little bit strange. No, whatever. You guys turn like so. Maybe I'm going to speed this up a teensy bit. There are a bunch of enemies moving in. You can activate ballistics calibration. Calibrate those ballistics, as one does. Alrighty, and... Okay, I'm just going to use this because I'm going to forget. Like so. Probably not going to do a lot of damage, but at least against Skaven Slaves, something. Better than nothing. Alright, Thane, you're going to go out here, and frankly, Runesmith, you're probably going to go out here as well, because the enemy's center line is probably on the verge of collapse. You guys are going to go to guard mode and attack this. You're going to go into guard mode and attack this. You are okay. Maybe Grimly go towards the Wolf Rats, or they're going to be an issue. You, reposition. And one of you has a Rune of Seeking. Which one is that? That would be you. Rune of Seeking, attack the enemy lord. You guys switch. You two attack the Wolf Rats. Everything else is fine. I was hoping these guys would blob up and allow us to hit them with a nice big ol' rune of... Where's the right rune? Ran of Wrath and Ruin. Put it here. These guys will be doing more damage even if these guys are more blobbed up. We gotta make sure that they die. Alright, how are we doing? Wolf Rat's still charging on in. You guys, we have another ballistics calibration. Let's activate it. And you will reposition. Yeah, see, notice how the Seeking missile has been firing away at those guys for this entire time, and they're still not dead? Or the enemy lord, and not even not dead, it's not even damaged. So, yeah. Not gonna be too useful there. Anyway, looks like we can now reposition you. Fire upon the enemy.
You fire upon this, you fire upon this. Grimly, I guess slowly but surely start heading towards the Lord. Maybe you can catch him. You guys go catch that unit of wolf rats. You guys reposition to deal with this. You two position yourselves here so that you can fight. Go back into max speed. There we go. And, now that you're not dodging, everybody target this Lord. The army should in theory be destroyed. There we go. When the enemy's not dodging, then those things can actually kill him rather quickly, but little tiny dodges from the little tiny rats are good enough, apparently. Alright, 2 losses, probably to that 1 unit of, yeah, so it's from the gutter runners, the 2 gutter runners, from that 1 unit of grudge settler longbeards. Which is about what we expected. Obviously, if they were the shielded version, they wouldn't have taken too much damage. We should probably do some shrines of, I want to say Morgrim, one of the, I don't know which lord, or which ancestor god, but one of them gives us 2% missile resistance per shrine. I think we do 10 Grimnir shrines for the melee attack. Maybe 20. We'll see. And then we'll start going for the missile resistance. Alrighty, what do we have here? Heal up. Heal up in case the Slaaneshi come a-calling. Alrighty, and can you go into any kind of stance? You can go into Valea's Will, physical resistance when defending. Physical resistance will not be helpful against most of this army. Well, actually, they have a decent amount of physical damage. Yeah, that's fine. Stay here. We'll see if they attack you. Gyrocopter, leadership, another magnificent armor of Boric Beetlebrow, and replace Thunderer. I believe you're no longer needed, in theory. Though in practice, we could have you take, well, probably not needed, eh? Yeah, alright, we can... Wait, actually, Svedora, you know what, stay there. Svedora actually got damaged again. Remember, it used to be tier 5, now it's tier 3. I assume it got hit by 2 Doom Engineers in a row? Which is pretty insane, but anyway. It is what it is, gotta deal with it. Gromby, alright, so you are kind of in an interesting position as I'm not sure what to do with you right now, because if we leave Dragonmort... Ooh, Astrogoth. Okay, I know where we're going. You're gonna go to Astrogoth. You can come back down if you need to. We'll see what he does. And if these guys retake it, I mean, we don't care about any of this territory. This is all snow territory that we're gonna give to Boris. It's not that we care about it. It's the mountains we want. And all of this is going to go to these guys, which we'll deal with later, because I don't feel like doing it right now. Anyway, Gromby, that was you. Finn Arkandraskelson. You are waiting for one more turn until Ekron's tier 5, so that we can take it to tier 4 and immediately put it back up to tier 5. Oldest Helheim, you're going to jump down, get ready to go for Khorne. I guess this portion of Khorne. And then you obviously need a bunch of heroes, which we will eventually do. We can have you, Zamnil Finson. Oh, you can't do that yet. Alright, we'll deliver that engineer to Oldest Helheim. It's an innovator engineer to get the bonus defense on the gyro bombers. A little bit concerned about these guys then bypassing this and going for this territory, which is a distinct possibility, but I guess we'll see. Anyway, who's next? Not Finn, because he doesn't need to move. Thorek Ironbrow. Now you can reach Nagripper Camp, and oh, you're so close to retaking Carrick Doom, one of our objectives. But we gotta... Well, you are in need of healing still. Alright, fine. Go into a camp stance then. And then go near to Fort Dolganyar. I'd like to see if there's anybody here. There is not. We should take Zamoski first, I guess, and then bounce back up there. Yeah. Alrighty, that was Thorek, who's still pretty high in the list. So the next one should be easy to find. Vikram Burdrick. I forgot what I was doing with you. You are the anti-dragon force. Alright, fine, keep, well, you're still waiting for your dragon slayers, which are up here, but you can at least get yourself near to Emmerich, so, I don't know, go down here somewhere. Gotri Holdfast. You are looking for the Changeling. As to whether you find him, certainly remains to be seen. I guess we'll start with Flensburg, and then we'll move to Clam after. Alright, Flensburg it is. Colonize. And don't collect the income for obvious reasons. And hopefully if there is a Slaaneshi cult, we can get rid of the cult there. Alright. It's not like we can kill the changeling, because the likelihood of burning down all the cults is so insignificant that it's probably not going to happen. Anyway, Malachi. We still need another army here. Yeah, you're still going to head to Hell Pit. The annoying thing about that is the fact that we haven't completely dealt with Azag yet. He's still running around out there. I'm just going to hope that they can deal with him without him retaking any territory. Dwinbar Ranulfson, you are starting to move towards the Nurglites. In case they attack you. How many points do you have, by the way? 4. Not bad. We have all the important stuff here, right? Wait, Honored by Grimnir. Yeah, you have Morgrim's favorite. Honored by Grimnir does nothing for the Goblin Hewers. Should probably get Rune of Grimnir and Root Marcher, though. And, I mean, we could get the fire resistance. I don't see it being super useful against Nurgle, I admit. So go for full armor. Alrighty, what about you guys? Decent likelihood that they attack us, because every single AI so far has thought our army, this particular army, is weak. Though we have proven them wrong time and time again. You can get Rune of Grimnir, and, I mean, we could get Overseer, just don't really see it being super useful. The extra speed isn't super useful, because then you... Well, actually, in this army it might be. Relentless. Reposition yourself a little bit faster, and then you can do the same thing. You already have the... Oh, you don't have the Grudge Thrower Mastery. The other guy did, right? I think I was saving the points on this guy. Yeah, that's what was happening. Alright. Not crazy, you're crazy. Grudge Thrower Mastery for you, power that up, and then start going through Sapper. Good. Dragon Slayer, one of our few Dragon Slayers outside of any Slayer forces. You could get Big Game Slayer, it's a fairly decent buff, why not? We'll eventually get you the other stuff. Your melee defense is already at 83, which is admittedly fairly solid. You... Only 2 points, eh? But you have Rune of Grimnir, so I guess you can get hard to hit. 104 melee defense. Frankly, Deadly Blade might have been the better pick here, but whatever. Strike the Runes, obviously. Alright, and now that we have Strike the Runes, we should probably... Well, let's get Rune of Slowness. Should at least have access to all the runes before we start getting other stuff. Man, we're already at level 30 with this guy, and we haven't gotten into Rune of Sanctuary at all. Which is a shame, because old-fashioned Tinkering is a +2 armor-piercing weapon damage for the entire arm. It's pretty solid. The other stuff is kind of decent if you stack high numbers of it, or high amounts, but we don't really have that, so yeah. Anyway, Callan Helldower. You're gonna grab Zip, because you're the only one here, and then loop back around to Asino, unless our caravan is there. We're about to find out. Oh, I didn't quick save? Oh, thank you. And then you can go into Empower the Guilds, at least for now. We can immediately buff you up, and we can immediately build... I don't know, doesn't really matter. It's not like we actually care how much the territories are worth to the Imperials, we just gotta give them decent territories, that's about it. Anyway, King Azrael. Alright, so you are gonna go right here to reinforce, while Rearguard Half-Hand takes Weiler. So that Azrael doesn't have to waste 2 turns, he can take Redden in 1 turn. Quick save and then auto-resolve. This time I won't forget. It's probably going to damage us because the auto-resolve is insane, but it is what it is. Oh, I lied. Now I look like a fool. Anyway, Wailing Banner for Azrael. Yeah, well, fair enough. Go to Redden. And then build up Weiler, do that, and auto-resolve. Ranger Standard, Occupy. Lovely. Province Velt, Archivist, and you can go into Empower the Guilds as well and immediately upgrade this, and then immediately get, I don't know, get a Scrat Mine here, doesn't really matter. Alright, and Drake is nearly done for, and while we're here, you can go to Beckhofen and do the exact same thing. This is why we got these 2 rear guards here, or these 2 sort of rando lords. Auto-resolve. Nice, you don't need the Ranger's Quiver, but I'll take it off you when we delete you. Stonemason, did you just get... Oh, he even got 2 levels from that. And then you can head to Griffin Wood, which is the thing that we've been waiting for with Ungrim. Let's see what the defense is. Oh, there's no stack there. It's just the not worth our time, then. Not a big deal. I mean, we've already defeated Trika's 2 armies in the field in actual proper battles, so just auto-resolve that. It doesn't even hurt a Slayer army in auto-resolve, and that's always a bad sign. Auto-resolve wise. I'd love to raise it, but there isn't really any purpose to doing so because, well, we could just trade it to, I don't know, maybe Imperials or somebody. It doesn't really matter who, as long as somebody who can actually use it holds it. Though admittedly, we could use it for capacities like the, well, yeah, but Dwarfs in the woods, it just feels wrong, doesn't it? Ooh, I mean, we are closing in on some more Skaven. It'll be about on time when we start fighting with all the other Skaven all over the map, which I guess we have started it at least, because we are now fighting... Oh, guess we're ready to fight Kugath. Alright. Goodness, sounds good to me. Declare war. Don't have anybody join. And I interrupted my thought and then I promptly forgot what I was saying, so I have no idea. Alrighty, and we'll see if these guys sally out. I have my doubts. We'll give them a chance rather than immediately auto-resolving, just in case they do. It's a rather weak army, so obviously we don't need to fight it. I guess they were damaged from actually attacking the place. Too bad for them. Now, we have Dwarf Engineers and Organ Guns here, so we have Morgrim's favored, but still need Dowie firepower. We have Tactician, Fire, and Fury here, so those are the important ones. You can now start going through Obstinacy. You guys... NGs, we'll start with you. You have triangulation, sketches of bar 42 pounders, and yet we are the elite. Now, this army is relatively unlikely, I would say, to run out of ammunition, so requisition was gonna be second after the other stuff. Alright, the rest of that looks good. Runesmith. You have Rune Master, you have Strike the Runes, let's get you Damping and Rune of Slowness, and max out Sharpen Weapons. Frankly, everybody should have Rune of Grimnir, but you're running out of points, and I really would like you to get old-fashioned tinkering. This army might really, well, might really need it. And out of this stuff, it's such a minor amount of armor that I'm going to say Scarred Veteran. I do wish that this portion of the tree wasn't so useless to get to this portion of the tree, but whatever. Alrighty, and then you. We are the elite, and then Rune of Grimnir. We have Inherited Arms in Revered Thane. Let's get you a Blade Master, and... You're not fighting greenskins. You know, let's get you Relentless. I think this guy's going to need to be able to reposition himself quickly in case this army actually gets attacked. Alrighty, that looks good. Who's next? Morgus Death Dealer. I always forget who you're... Oh, right, you were waiting. Everybody keeps using global recruitment and not letting him recruit his army. I feel somewhat bad. You're going to besiege Thessos there? Or just... Huh. Well, alright, if they want to sally out and fight us, I'm perfectly willing. This might be a basic unbuffed army, but it should still be more than enough to handle itself. Oh, this guy might come in and help. Well then. Should still be fun enough to fight. Stochel Gundrickson. And that was you. After you is Kazran Grimbrow. You're supposed to take... Thing is, we need various territories belonging to these guys, and Viadaza is worth a lot more to us than Campagrota is. I feel like we take Viadaza first and then move back around. Because we need to trade these guys' territories. And, why did you stop? Nobody told you to stop. Alright, quick save. This guy's still waiting for a proper army, and, well, been waiting for a while, but he'll get it. Eventually. We'll have to regroup before we start moving towards Skaven Blight, so that hasn't changed. Alright, that was Kazran. I think Morngard was after him, who doesn't need to move. Okay. After the Morngard, Skeggy Threxen. Ah! You've completed most of the minor army for Brock Ironpick. I can't jump here. Oh man, alright, fine. March stance. Go this way. You're gonna have to deliver these guys to Brock. And Brock, as soon as he stops moving, in a second, you are gonna do this. Go here. You can keep your Runesmith. I guess the question is, do you need another Runesmith? Lose this, lose these, keep the Iron Breakers, take this. You are at 18 out of 20, meaning you need 2 Thanes. And I think that's it. We don't really need an engineer here. This is our minor army. I mean, the engineer would... More requisition would help with the additional ammunition on the miners, but this isn't really an explosives army so much as it is a miners army. And yes, I'm aware that we could have gone with regular miners instead of the blasting charges miners. It's just that they have the exact same stats, no difference other than the fact that these guys are blasting charges. And if you're going to have an army built up of all miners, you should probably have a lot of blasting charges with you. So yeah, you're good as you are. We're going to send you as our vanguard to move towards the Skaven there. Anyway, you're Brock Iron Pick. Snorri has moved. Guardian Granite Hand obviously does not need to move. Guardian Silverhorn does not need to move. We're waiting for these guys to complete recruitment. Morgus Drenger. Okay, I've been waiting for you. Go here. Crag Whitebeard. Alright, let's see if I remember this correctly. So, the Grudge Throwers, the Quarrelers are supposed to go in a different army. You are going to transfer the Runesmith, I think, assuming that that's the Runesmith. The Dragon Slayer, all the Doomseekers, one Longbeard, and then both Heavy War Sleds. Like so. Now, let me just double check, because this is the Armored Slayer army. They currently have 20 armor, plus the 25 armor from the War Drum, plus the armor from Invoke Runes of Grugni, and the additional armor out of Venerate Smednir, which is another 15. Pretty solid. Just want to check, you should both be Thugni's bloodline. Thugni and Thugni. Okay, you're both good. And then one of you will need to harden armor, that's you, which is why we kept you, and then you will need to sharpen weapons. Like so. And Dragon Slayer is here to do, you know, Slayer things. To help with the other Armored Slayers. The other thing we will need in here is 3 more Longbeards with great weapons, which will put us to 17 out of 20. And I think these armies out here are holding those. You're holding 2, and then either somebody else is holding 1 or we get it out of the Grudge Settlers. We should have 1 capacity. Yes, we do. Alrighty, and if you're wondering why those guys with the Armored Slayer army, this is a different type of Slayer army than the others. These guys offer the melee defense and expert charge defense. So these guys are going to be heavily armored Doomseekers with lots of melee defense and lots of armor. And I'm curious to see how they function as a main line. Plus, they'll be protecting a little bit in the way of long-range artillery in here as well. As to what type, I'm not yet sure, but we'll see. I think it'll be a fun one. Alaric Ranulfson. Oh.
What do you want?
No, I was wondering whether it would be better for these guys to get the 15% missile resistance out of a Slayer Lord than it would be out of a Rune Lord with Invoke Runes of Grugni. Slayer Lords admittedly do buff these guys quite a lot, but 15 armor loss. Granted, the magical attacks are going to be useless on you, but at least we'll get magical attacks on everybody else. This is the way we're doing it. We have too many Slayers, too many Slayer Lords leading too many Slayers already. And, ooh, I guess we can't attack Hate March with you. And by can't, I mean we'll immediately attack Hate March with you. Let's draw them out, I guess. Attack them both? Why not? Alright, Alara, good luck. And, whoa, no, never mind. That's a bad idea. You're definitely not going to be able to handle that. I was willing to try 2 armies, despite the fact that you have no heroes, but not Tamarkan and like a billion armies, so... March stance will get you back here. Oh, and then this guy will attack you. Go to ambush stance. Go here. Just make sure that you can't be reached by Tamarkan. I do, however, like the fact that we have found Tamarkan, which means that's where we're sending Thorek. Man, I was going to send him to take Jarna Grund, but I guess... he's killed Kairos, he's killed Archaon. I feel like he has to kill Tamarkan now. You know? We'll see. Anyway, Jamek Doomtamer. Okay, so you're... Ooh, hello. We got some Chaos Dwarfs. Not a crazy army by any means. Do we keep looking around for a better army, or do we just start on them? How much territory do they have, incidentally? 22. Damn, these guys have done well in our absence from this part of the world. Fine, go after them. Wait. You're only at war with Goldtooth already. The only problem with Goldtooth is the fact that they and the Bretonnians here don't like each other. I'm just gonna hope they don't declare war on each other. If they do, we're gonna probably pick the Bretonnian side over the Ogres. Maybe. Probably. Mostly because the Ogres are holding Darklands territory, and we don't really want it. I just straight up declare war. Call your allies to help. No thanks. And we don't need it. They have enough problems that they're incapable of dealing with themselves anyway. And Pyrrhic Victory. It's a bunch of... Okay, I guess this army is untested. Wait, did I even apply points? Oh, I did not apply points. Okay, that makes sense. You have spy glasses, which was needed. You're probably still going to go Master Rune of Immolation here. Now, the concept behind this army is run and gun. We'll need the Thunderer for the Rangers and Grimnir's heirs, so Inspiring Presence. Thunderer for the Bugmans. Oh, we don't have enough points. You know what? Let's do 1, 2. 2 points into Grimnir's heirs, and we'll do 1 point in Tradition and Innovation. Because we do have the Gyrocopters in here. You two, you have your Prospector spy glasses. You do need Gatekeeper's hammers, but I don't think we have any spares right now, and I'll make some more later. Triangulation into Requisition into 2 into Zifbar 42 pounders. Maybe we should max out... No, you know what? For this army, we need Sapper. Oh, wait. I forgot about ballistics calibration. That was the important thing. Flash bomb, break open the casks, triangulation, sapper, 1 point into Zifbar 42 pounders. And then we'll do the same thing with you. Break open, flash bomb, triangulation, sapper, Zifbar, deadeye, ballistics calibration, another 42 pounders, and then requisition. You have 2 levels over the other guy. Alright, now what's it say? Still Pyrrhic Victory, really? Alright, I mean, I guess it's a new army that we haven't tried before. Let's see how our war sleds and our gyrocopters work together with the running and the gunning. Quick save, and fight.
For the ancestors!
I see the issue. I see why the auto-resolve was saying this was not going to go so well, because this is a minor settlement battle. Whoops. I guess no running and gunning for the running and gunning army in this first battle. Oh well, not a big deal. I might as well give them a little bit of a trial by fire by having them fight in a battle type that they shouldn't be particularly adept at fighting. And we're going to start the battle off by facing off against the enemy tower and bringing it down with our air corps, and do so fairly quickly, though there is another tower that we'll have to bring down as well. Gabos, interestingly, looking like they're going to back off. A nice little bomb drop upon them as well. As they back away from that platform, and the rest of our army can move on in. We're going to have to bring that platform down and head into the enemy settlement rather than what we might otherwise do. On the bright side, though, probably means that we can get a little bit of mileage out of our light war sleds here as soon as we bring that platform down anyway. What are we at here? 154 range, pretty okay, but it's the melee damage, I think, that will get better use out of here. The close confines of the settlement mean no running and gunning, but it also means the enemy is going to have a difficult time not blobbing up prior to a charge from the, I wanted to say war wagons, from the war sleds. Alright, I'm going to speed this up a little bit real quick while we bring down that platform barricade, and ooh, looks like the enemy lord with an overseer on Lamasu is going to start moving on and is going to charge those gyrocopters, which makes sense. I'm going to try our best to back up. He's going to pop a enfeebling foe on this one unit, bringing its stats down to basically non-existent, but, well, it's a gyrocopter. What do you expect? Anyway, now the enemy lord will decide he's not going to give chase to the gyrocopters, probably was no longer capable of it, as we slowed him down with a combination of suppression and flash bomb, bringing his speed down to 25%, and thus pretty much unable to do anything or reach the main line. Shield breaker will, well, actually not be needed here. As we gun the enemy lord down, he gets slowed down to 9 speed now, even further, and is going to attempt to get away. Man, that's a slow Lamasu. On the bright side, though, by distracting us, he allows some of the sneaky gits to, well, sneak on in and overrun our piles of engineers and the overseer, guildmaster. But it looks like they were able to bonk apart those enemies with just hitting them in melee with their range weapons. Hey, if it works, it works. Alright, it's not like the quality dwarven craftsmanship is going to get, whatchamacallit, is going to get dented by breaking apart a few goblin skulls. Anyway, use the Rune of Immolation on the Overseer to clear the last few enemies, and it looks like we're good. Otherwise, it's time for the war sleds to move on in. Looks like a Goblin Laborer unit has decided to attempt to flank us, and Goblin Laborer unit's not going to be a threat to a big old pile of bear chariots, with the gunners shooting at the enemy as they fight as well. Granted, it's sort of a not ideal situation for our sleds in the sense that they can't really maneuver, especially if we keep all 4 of them blobbed up together like this, but they do quickly obliterate that a unit of Goblin Laborers. We do have to be careful about the war sleds firing at each other, though, as that is also a distinct possibility. Units like this do have a tendency to be a danger to themselves as well. Oh, we got a little mini-maw here. Hello, mini-maw. Alrighty, and it looks like these guys might move towards us or might not. I guess it remains to be seen, but in the meantime, another unit of Goblin Laborers has charged forth towards our Engineer and our Guildmaster, not bothering to go past them towards our Slayers. Ooh, there are some arrows coming in now. And funnily enough, it's better that they target the heavily armored Guildmaster than they target the Engineers, or the Slayers. Alright, I think, oh, no, wait, we have another unit moving in, and it is an Overseer this time. We're going to slow him down with that Flash Bomb, and he's going to slow down to 14 speed. And we got Shield Breaker, which will be helpful against them. He's decided that this is no longer a viable strategy, and will attempt to back off, but will quickly shed about 50% of his HP. Going to continue backing off and taking pistol fire to the back. And I do believe this Overseer is just about done. He's going to lose his head, but the hat stayed on, which is fantastic. I wonder if they glue that hat to their horns or what. Anyway, it looks like a few Goblin Laborers still running around. I'm going to punish them a little bit with our Air Corps, which is supporting our, well, our entire army. I was going to say our war sleds. I mean, here they'll still support the war sleds. Going to get a little charge in, but we didn't have time to build up enough momentum such that not many units will go flying, but that's alright. And just keep on chasing them down, firing away with the Kislevite gunners and the Air Corps floating overhead. Well, this was a combination I was fairly interested in, and I do remain so. We'll just have to find them a proper fight somewhere on the battlefield. And we'll just keep on charging. Might as well go deeper into the enemy formation / the enemy settlement. We will probably get surrounded, but again, these are Goblin and Orc Laborers, and while they will do a little bit of damage, even the light war sleds shouldn't be super concerned. Also, if you're wondering why I went with the light war sleds in this particular army, the heavy war sleds are significantly slower in SFO, although obviously they're tankier. This is supposed to be a run-and-gun army, and thus we need these guys to at least somewhat keep pace with the fast-moving gyrocopters. Anyway, we'll charge right through those piles of gobos and orcs. We do a little bit of damage, but we're not looking to get bogged down and take too much damage ourselves, and at least until our gyrocopters move into support. In the meantime, the Slayers have finally gotten into a little bit of melee action as more Goblin Laborers have decided to move on in, only to get cut apart by Cutlass instead of by pistol fire. Well, at least we gave them a choice. Isn't that nice? Dwarfs are so magnanimous. Anyway, the piles of Goblin and Orc Laborers having a little bit of trouble here, being shot up, being bombed, being run over by bears, etc., etc. As they try to chase down the pile of sleds, but we use our gyrocopters to fire upon them as they blob up in an attempt to chase the sleds. Oh, the sleds do look appropriate with this being a snowy terrain, though. Ooh, Sneaky Gits have charged in. Gotta be careful about those guys and never underestimate a pile of Sneaky Gits. I always have a hard time not overly spamming them when playing Chaos Dwarfs because they're such a good unit with those precursor weapons. Kind of same thing for the Chameleon Skinks, for the Lizardmen. Similar unit archetypes, or archetypes.
And it's just one that I really, really enjoy. Another Rune of Immolation coming down from the Overseer, who's been doing a lot more melee fighting in this particular battle, it feels, than range fighting, but that's alright. These sleds have found another foe, but it looks like their charge into this unit of Goblin Laborers will send them routing rather quickly, and it looks like the battle has shifted to about 90% in our favor. Frankly, not a lot of work to be done for our Bugmans and our Slayer Pirates, minus the few units that get through, because the sleds and the gyrocopters are doing a lot of work, which admittedly we have seen a fair bit of through the course of previous battles, especially with the gyrocopters clearing settlements. But them being good at that sort of thing ain't too bad either. Anyway, looks like one more charge will deliver the final blow as the last of the enemy orc laborers and what remains will shatter, and the battle will be ours. Hardly surprising, despite what the auto-resolve said, the enemy was primarily a laborer force, and thus they didn't really have a chance here. Alright, there we go. No running and gunning for this army yet, as I didn't realize it was going to be a minor settlement battle, but I'm sure they'll find their first fight, their first proper fight shortly. Anyway, we'll occupy the place at least temporarily. We're not going to bother collecting income. We'll upgrade it and most likely trade it to the ogres and just hope that they don't raid us or whatever. Alright, gyrocopter, and there we go. Oh, this gave us a vision of what's around us. We have Snakebeard's Artificers are still alive. Oh, this is the location, yeah, the rocket test site where you get buffs for the Death Shrieker rockets. Anyway, well done, Jamek, for your first fight, but I don't consider it your debut battle until you actually get a running and gunning style debut. Bugman, you... Oh. We could have you occupy Aliska, or we'll just head you to Asino and then have, I don't know, Callan or somebody else occupy the place. Or rather, you actually do something to resolve this and occupy it.
Let us begin.
Giant Blade, were we doing anything else with this army in terms of... Nah, that's fine. In terms of getting any additional troops. Anyway, that was Bugman. Let's try to find him in here. Alright, there he is. Herrick Doomtamer's moved. Scaff Holdfast. I don't remember who... Oh, right, you're the slowdown army. Yeah. Just rename you to Scaff Slowdown, and that'll be easy to tell apart. Oh, right, you're waiting for the other two Grudge Throwers, which are in another army right now. Anyway, you will have defeated the... Really? Really, game? You want us to fight this pathetic showing? Alright. I guess we'll fight this pathetic showing, if that's what you want. We'll do it manually, because obviously this is... Oh, damn, I forgot to quick save. Well, let's just hope. Yeah, these guys have absolutely no chance whatsoever. Oh, they do have some reinforcements coming in on this side, so who knows? Maybe they do have something approaching a chance. If they hit us from multiple directions at once. Maybe they'll actually be able to get close to these guys. It will be a first if that's the case. Alrighty, now, where are these guys deployed? Right in front of us, go figure. 2 minutes until the main host, as it were, arrives. Alright, you know, here's what we'll do. To give them something of a chance, we'll deploy closer to these guys so that they can potentially attack us. I still doubt it, but, you know. Give him a shot. You guys stay here. You guys will obviously Vanguard deploy like so. Need to wipe out the squigs and the pump wagons. You can turn off skirmish mode because I'll just babysit you. You guys can go here. You two can go here. Oh, you're on a gyrocopter this time. Oh, right, we're waiting for the second engineer in this army as well. Anyway, you two can go here at first, and then we'll reposition as needed. I believe that's it. We have a couple of reinforcements coming in on this side as well, and we're good. Wait. Everybody turn off skirmish mode, just in case somebody else has it. All right, now we're good. Fire. Fire. And fire. And speed up. And back off. I see some spider riders that were hidden from us. You fire upon them, and No, grudge throwers. Oh, yeah, we got hit by our own grudge throwers. That's... That's honestly the biggest danger with this army. Far more than the enemy is. It's just like that fight against Warband where we hit our own units and, well, that's what happens. Alrighty, anyway, let's reposition you guys and fire at the incoming units. And the spiders are done for. And now the enemy's hopefully too far from us. We got 1 minute. I don't think these guys are going to be able to approach, but just in case they do, let's put you guys up like this. And we got to get the artillery repositioned to fire that way in a bit. Oh, would you look at that? An enemy lord on the way. Let's back you up and keep suppressing him. Yeah, that's why we need another engineer. If we had a gyrocopter floating over spotting for us, then that unit of spider riders wouldn't have gotten close enough to, well, allow the enemy army to get us to do damage to ourselves. That made sense. Anyway, fire upon those goblin bolt throwers. They're nearly dead. You guys can keep sort of close to the enemy, but keep chasing them down. You reposition. Well, let's move you here. Let's move you here. Let's reposition you too. Like so, as the enemy is on the approach. Alrighty, and everybody else here is good. How are you guys doing? Looking okay to me. Fire a few more shots. Just gotta be careful about getting too close to the enemy, as they will otherwise dish out damage to ourselves. Speed it back up too fast. Alright, grudge throwers are in position. And the reinforcements are approaching. Can't see them because they got the hill for cover. Which is why I said deploying in this way would give them a chance, because they can do a little bit more approaching than they normally might. I don't think anybody's getting around us on this side, so let's get you Runesmith up and running. How's everybody else around here? Looking okay to me. Let's get a few more shots in this goblin bolt thrower, but I'd wager that the outriders should be able to take care of most of this. And then... gotta watch out for those boar boys. In fact, you head to the flanks in case the boar boys come around, and you maybe go like this, and like this. The hills might still interfere with those units. Distinct possibility. Anyway, artillery. I get one more volley against this unit of orc biggins. You know what? Just the one of you. You guys reposition like so. And fire at whatever you please. And a couple more volleys in this unit will be done for. You two, in fact, get ready to flank the other army. And then you two take care of what's left. Alright, and these guys are not yet close enough, so we're waiting for the ballistics calibration and keep on firing. Looks like you're done for, and you can now reposition. Go up here. Alright. Run the enemy down. I'm not so sure whether... ooh, hello, boar boys. Speed it back up, and fire, and back away, and keep on firing. Let's see if they actually attempt to chase you, and if they don't, just keep firing into their flanks / sides. And... alright, one volley in, and back away. You too. I think you're mostly good. Don't really care about the bolt thrower. I'll admit, you guys can back up. The suppression keeps these guys moving too fast to be of any kind of threat to us. Is it yet time for that ballistics calibration? Not yet. We want the Drake guns to actually be close enough. Alright, looks like that boar boys unit is nearly out. You guys move on in. And you guys move around to the flank, please. Are you going to interfere with the artillery a little bit, most likely, but it is what it is. Alright, some units have closed the distance. Calibrate them ballistics. Alright, you guys chase down those boar boys. You guys get ready to move in on the flank. Everybody else is still okay. Alright, speed it back up. And... alright, slow back down to normal. Normal speed feels so slow after fast speed. It's bizarre. Anyway. I don't think we're going to need a rune of slowness. You guys can position yourselves up on top of this hill. And basically the enemy army's stuck here. They're all at 0 speed, effectively. Yeah, 3 speed on everybody. It's so mean. This army is just so mean. Like, there's a bunch of armies that really, generally speaking, feel mean, but I think that this type of army just feels the meanest. It's cruel. The AI can do nothing. It really needs very specific type of army compositions in order to do stuff against this army, or multiple stacks, obviously. If they have the numbers to sort of outnumber the number of shots that we can get going into the blobs at the same time, then they can actually move. Ah, those poor trolls. Not only do they have 6 speed, but they effectively can't move because they keep getting punted around by all those grudge throwers. It is taking a while to dish out sufficient damage to them, though. It's kind of impressive. I'm surprised you guys aren't insta-killing them. Huh. Maybe they're getting invincibility frames by... Oh, that's what's happening. The grudge throwers are knocking them to the ground, and in the time it takes them to get up, they're invincible. Hence why it took so long. Okay, I was wondering, because I was like, wait, we have a lot of damage coming in from all these units on them, and they're somehow still around. Alright, 21 losses, almost all from, 3 to the Forest Goblin Spider Riders, and then 18 to our own Grudge Thrower. Yeah, my mistake on not checking the types of units that the enemy had, or else I would have known that they would have had those Forest Goblin Spider Riders to move on in. Alright, come on now. Alright, now I'm just hoping that the fact that I didn't quick save doesn't screw us over on this one. Man, this is taking a long time to load. Oh, well, I mean, it usually does, but usually, at least with cinematic battles, I cut out the loading part so you guys wouldn't be, normally used to the long loading times of these. And my PC's pretty old, so it does generally take quite the while. Alrighty, and Hunter's Talon, and do we heal up to full? I mean, we'll need to, yeah, go heal up to full. We'll need to auto-resolve this. Or at least what remains of this. And... I guess we could go after this guy and then occupy it. Probably... Oh! Damn, I should have... Okay, wait. Sack it, then occupy it? How much movement do we have? Still a fair bit, I just... No, but then we won't be able to... Ah, screw it, just occupy. Too lazy. And then... Yeah. He's going to be able to move. I'm not so sure he's going to be able to escape, but whatever. Alright, Hunter's Talon, hold on to it for now. I will deal with your items eventually. Alrighty. You can immediately heal up and then immediately get an upgrade or some buildings. We're going to be transferring these to the Southern Realmers soon. As soon as we take a Montan's home. We can't do so with you. Anyway, that was who? Scaff Holdfast, who's down here somewhere. There he is, alrighty, and then Bernoth Barak, you're ready to move, sort of. You are waiting for one Grudge Thrower Grudge Settler unit, which you're one short of. Oh, you guys have it. Otherwise, this is our mechanized all-artillery army. You guys will help against the massive Skaven Empire. We can also send you against the Pirates of the Vampire Coast. You'd be an ideal army to deal with them as well. Well, either way, you gotta move. So start on moving, and then you will have to move as soon as you're ready to move again. You will have units to deliver to various armies, so start moving as well. Alright, that was Bernoth Barak. Close to the end now. Of the list, I mean. Did I lose it? Okay. Mournguard doesn't need to move. Actually, wait. You, Mournguard... You're one of the ones that doesn't need to move. Replace Thunderer, you will stay for 1 turn. Story Azrael. You... The heck is this? Agrok Cracktooth. Could fight Agrok Cracktooth. I don't see why we couldn't. Let's fight Agrok Cracktooth. Alrighty, what else do we have? You have artillery, so you still want Morgrim's Favored. You have... This is all Thunderer. These guys are going to be swapped out for Grudge Settler variants, and the rest of this, I think, is looking okay. You have Spyglasses. You can, I guess, go for Obstinacy now, as there's a at least decent likelihood that those guys get into it. These guys, I think, are holding on to their points. Oh, only need to hold on to 3 for Organ Gun Mastery. Let's max out Sapper, and then we'll have 1 point to spare, so start going through We Are the Elite. And then you... max out Sapper, and then Organize, then the rest of the points you'll hold on to. Lovely. Alright, Runesmith. You have sharpened weapons. We could get We Are the Elite now. We could get Wordbreaker first for that missile resistance reduction. And I guess we have enough points to go for Strike the Runes. So let's strike him. Alright, that looks good. Story. Let's see if this guy actually wants to fight you or whether he attempts to run. Last couple times, these armies have not run, and decisive victory, low casualties, but I think this is the last battle that we have in this particular turn, as nobody else is close to anybody, so we will fight.
For the ancestors! Never trust
Alrighty, for the ancestors indeed, and that goes for you too, Hellblaster volley guns. You know, granted, the Hellblaster volley guns have been performing really well in this particular army, generally speaking. It almost makes me want to put 2 more into the army just to sort of maximize that, but I'll think about it. I'm not so sure that we have enough allegiance at this point. Anyway, as usual with this particular army, we Vanguard deployed our Bugman's Rangers, who have done a decent bit of damage to at least a few of the enemy units. The enemy Lord currently being sniped by those Hellblaster volley guns, which I've said before are sort of a jack-of-all-trades, but really master-of-all-trades type unit that can both snipe single entities and then kill off everything else as well. And they're going to return to firing upon the other enemy single entities. There's a goblin big boss or two skittering around on Spiderback, and they'll be the focus of those Hellblasters next, even as the other units among them get torn apart. Oh, and we'll help out a little bit with that engineer as well. Now, speaking of the engineers, this is a pretty critical battle in terms of the engineer use. One is staying back to buff the rest of our army, but the other is acting as a spotter. There's a lot of night goblins in here, and if we let them close the distance, they will, well, close the distance. Obviously, they are in stock, and we don't want them invisible. We want all our guns and our quarrels firing upon them. Anyway, looks like at least in this time around, at least a few of the enemy can manage to reach a Grudge Raker range and take a few shotgun blasts to the face and to the everything. It looks like a few more Night Goblin units moving on the enemy's right flank, our left flank, but once again, all that'll do for them is allow them to close the distance with those Grudge Rakers, which will start knocking them back and using their stopping power to prevent them from reaching us. Even without the slowdown of the fire variant, the Drake gun variant of Thunderers, it's still more than enough, especially with the combination of Frostbite from the engineers. And there we go. Looks like that unit is done. Another unit is moving in, but the Quarrelers and the Bugman's Rangers will fire upon it first, already heavily damaging it. Well, maybe not heavily, but taking a quarter of their HP. This one might get a little bit closer, but no, there we go. It looks like the units of Thunderers with Grudge Rakers have found them, and that was the last unit that was going to attempt this. No other units going to have any kind of chance to get close, and with that, the battle is ours. We'll spend a few more seconds firing away at them with our organ guns and with our Hellblaster volley guns as they run, as this army, well, it did fight, but it won't be destroyed. So we may as well make sure as many of the enemy units are done as possible. Man, those Hellblasters certainly firing darn quick. 264 kills and 30,000 damage. Yeah, I don't think the organ guns have a prayer in reaching this kind of effectiveness here. At least against this type of army. But anyway, there we go. We'll chase the rest of them down off screen. Alrighty, there we go. Once again, absolutely obliterating the enemy army, but we can see the pretty big contrast between the Vampire Coast army that Story had fought previously, when his army took like half of its HP and damage because the enemy could fire back. Whereas this is an all-melee Orky army, and obviously even with the relatively slow nature of the killing from these units, the enemy were still unable to reach our line.
line at the end of the day. The 2 units of Hellblasters still vastly outperforming those organ guns to a hilarious degree. One of the Hellblasters got more damage and more kills than both of the organ guns together, and they also sniped the enemy lords and heroes while doing all that. You can see 2.6k damage delta's gold, 5 times that of one of the organ guns. Gotta love Imperial artillery. Not that these things are as good as grudge throwers, mind you, but I do feel like organ guns could maybe use a little bit of a buff against basic units. I understand that against things like trolls or you know, boar boys, that the organ guns would then be superior to the Hellblasters. The problem with that is the fact that we already have cannons and bolt throwers that fulfill that niche, you know? And if the organ guns are only good at, or decent, or only good at one thing and then only meh against piles of troops, maybe they need just a little bit more penetration increase for when they volley through lines of infantry like this, because I don't see why the Hellblasters can dish out so much damage to infantry and, you know, just as much damage to everything else. Being a sort of, not a jack of all trades, but a master of all trades type of artillery. Anyway, I'm going to hope that we can chase you down and then return to Summer's Fall Fort. I'm going to also not forget to quick save this time, even though I did last time. And it looks like we're okay. And all that, not to say we haven't been getting some great use out of the organ guns in those armies of ours that have them. Hey, perfect figure for you, nice. I'm willing to bet you're going to run away, Arthur Jackson. Oh, right, we destroyed your army last episode. All right, well, at least Mr. Story here is getting some good work. And hey, Talisman of Preservation. As to whether we keep that on you, we might. We might. All right. And now you can briefly return to... Oh, wow, you're still... Well... If we go into ambush stance... Go right here. I wonder if these guys would attempt to go for Summer's Fall. I doubt it, but who knows. Well, let's put you there and let's wait. Pirate Hunter. Good for you. Anyway, that was Story, who should be very close to the end of the list here. Ulfar Norgrimling. Explosions. You, sir, are going to auto-resolve mines of Gorgoth. And we've nearly linked up with some of our Cathan friends here. Alright, come on now. Come on, there we go. And oh my lord, okay, I really gotta make sure to double check the auto-resolve for this army. I fear that it's going to kill off our engineer at some point. Ugh. Alrighty, and then Ulfar Norgrimling, you should be very much... Okay, Elmador Red Axe. Okay, you are gonna jump down here. We're about to start a war with these guys. And, why did it... Game, please, just keep the list where it is. Stop changing it every move. Burnoth, you are going to go for Giant Stomping Grounds. I think I'll just do this between the episodes, because it's a waste of time type of battle. And I don't want this army to be destroyed by this in case we actually find it some good fights in terms of their doom. So yeah, I'll just do that between the episodes. There's Burnoth. Who else do we have left here? Hagenbor Ironpick. I guess we send you to grab one of these territories, rather than have Ungrim do it. You're technically an auto-resolve army, or at least an auto-resolve adjacent army, in the sense that if we find some good battles for you, I'm still perfectly willing to fight them. You... I don't know where that little orky horde went. We can no longer see them. Kind of concerning, but stick around. Maybe you'll find them. You, Ulfar Dammon, ooh. You could try to go after Greebits. The problem is this. Well, they can't take Zephyron. Maybe they'll go to this place. You know what? I'm going to have you ambush stance right here. If you're wondering why I don't want to attack these guys, is that they most likely won't fight because the entire garrison of Zephyron will be drawn out, and that might be too much for them. So it is what it is. We'll wait the turn to declare war on them. Ulfar Dammon, that was you. Your army is perfectly fine to handle these guys, but I mean, I guess we could try to go closer to them. Let's try to go closer to them. I hope that they can't reach Galbarazor for Galbarazzer for... we'll see. And there we go. With that, we've reached the end of the list for this particular turn. I'll end the turn between the episodes, and I'm going to call the episode here. I'll fight this little garbage battle wherever it was with our... Burnout Knucklebreaker, and next time we'll take Ekrund and be one step closer to wiping out the Bloody Hands. We are going to start the war with Kugath. We will destroy Teclis, probably. Oh, and he'll probably sally out with the fairly nice army from Flying Fortress. Oh, meaning I can't end the turn, can I? Well, it's a shame, but it is what it is. We'll start the episode off, I guess, by ending the turn and then attacking this, attacking Khorne, attacking more elves, attacking Kugath, and just attacking all over the place. So stay tuned for it. Don't forget to leave those likes and comments below. We're still looking pretty good in terms of comments for this particular campaign. Continuing, though, one person leaving multiple comments doesn't actually work, guys. I see what you're doing, and I appreciate it, but yeah, there's a limitation to that because the YouTube can sort of register you as a bot and then none of your comments start counting. Trust me, if it was as simple as leaving a bunch of comments, I'd just leave a bunch on my own videos and then not bother asking for engagement or anything like that. But anyway, we're still very much good for comments in terms of this. Likes are starting to drop a little bit, so keep those in mind, but campaign's still going strong. Stay tuned for more Dowie. Don't forget to leave those likes and comments below. All glory to the algorithm, and thanks for watching.